We are going to get started laying on our backs. And we're going to start today with hugging our knees into our chest. So you can either clasp your hands, or if you want to, you can just hold on to both shins here and just giving yourself a nice gentle little squeeze in, a little hug. Option to rock from side to side if that feels good. Option to make little circles. Just starting to bring some movement into the back. Reversing directions of those circles if that feels good. Taking some deep breaths as we do this. Settling into the mat. From here, we're going to keep our hands right there on our shins. Knees are going to press away from you, and hands are going to pull in towards you. Both of those are going to happen at the same time. And we want to feel a nice, gentle opening through the low back. And it doesn't have to be that much pressure, but just a very gentle pull with the hands and a push with the knees. And then you can relax in between, or you can just hold that. Again, exhale, push, pull. Feel that nice opening. Almost like a gapping between those lower back vertebrae. And then from here, we're going to keep hugging onto the right knee while our left foot finds the mat. Keep hugging in, and we're going to take a nice circle with that right ankle, both clockwise and counterclockwise. And then from here, we're going to slowly release the hands and keep that right knee in as close to the body as we can. So release those hands, keep that knee in towards you. We're going to press down through the left heel and then lift those hips up just about 2 inches. Driving through the left glute, hold, 2, 3, and lower. 2 more just like that. Exhale, left heel drives down, right knee in as close to the chest as you can comfortably. And then lower. Last one like that. Exhale, lift those hips. Doesn't have to be that high. And lower down. Replace that right foot down. Hug your left knee into your chest. Taking a nice deep breath here, and then rolling that ankle clockwise and counterclockwise. From here, right heel presses down, and left knee comes in towards the chest, keeping it there as you release the hands down by your sides. Exhale, lift the hips up 2 inches, hold 2, 3, and slowly lower. Moving slow and controlled, trying our best to keep the hips relatively level. Holding at the top, pausing and release. Last one here. Hold 2, 3, and lower. Bring both feet back down. We're going to take just a nice normal segmental bridge to kind of help reset after that. So inhaling through the nose, exhale, tailbone starts, drawing your lower abs up and in towards your belly button, and seeing if you can lift up one vertebrae at a time all the way up to the top. All the way to those shoulder blades. There should be no pressure or tension in the neck. Maybe looking from right to left to just make sure of that. Head comes back to the center and slowly lower down, tucking the tailbone as you do, and asking yourself if you can really feel each vertebrae touch down at a time. When that tailbone touches down, we're going to bring our hands to our lower belly here, kind of observing and monitoring what's going on. So, engaging the core, kind of tucking that tailbone up just a little bit and lightening up through the feet. We're going to start with a nice slow and low march. So, one foot raises up a few inches off of your mat, and then slowly place it back down, switching sides. And with the tips of your fingers here, we want to feel for work and activation right at this lower belly. So maybe using your fingertips to kind of poke around gently, making sure that we feel work both at the kind of right above that pelvic bone and also to the sides as well. And this march stays low. We don't have to lift up very high, but trying our best to keep work out of the legs and the hip flexors and more so in our core. Alternating sides. On this next one, starting to pick that foot up a little bit higher so that it ends up in tabletop, knee directly over the hip. And on this last one leg lifts to tabletop, and then the other meets you there. Setting up this tabletop hold, take your focus to your low back and your core. Ask yourself what they are doing, and see if the bottoms of the back rib cage are kind of pressing down, but maybe the low back maintains that neutral spine. Holding here for last 3, 2, and hug your knees back into your chest. Perfect. From here, we're going to find our way back to that tabletop hold. Setting your knees right over the hips. From here, we're going to take one leg a few inches out to the side while keeping the rest of the body frozen. Exhale it back up to the top. So high knee fall out. Alternating sides. As you move weight away from midline, try your best to anchor your pelvis down and not let yourself tip or tilt over to the other side. Inhaling as you open, exhaling as you close. Last one. From here, hug your knees into your chest again. We're going to go ahead and keep our right knee hugged into the chest while left leg shoots out long at about 45 degrees. So we're going to inhale for 2 and exhale, switch for 2. That straight leg is lengthening nice and long away from the center of the body. Inhale for 2 and exhale for 2. Keep switching. On this next one, same thing, but legs are going to straighten a little bit more. So kind of just like a scissor kick. You can grab up underneath wherever you want to. Maybe a nice hamstring stretch at the top. Inhaling for 2 and exhale for 2. As always, if you need to take a break, feel free to do that and hop back in whenever you can. Last one on each side. We're going to end with both legs up towards the ceiling for our corkscrew. So if possible, squeeze heels together and toes apart, We're going to make little circles here, exhaling at the bottom, going clockwise and then counterclockwise. You can make the circle bigger if you want more of a challenge, or you can keep it small. Last one. And hug those knees in. Awesome job. Taking a nice deep breath here. Perfect. One last core exercise, focusing on those lower abdominals, is going to be our reverse march. So legs back into tabletop again, and knees right over the hips. Maybe hands to the belly. From here, hinging from the hip, you're going to lower only as far as you can without any changes in the low back or the core, and then back up to the top. Hinge and lift. Keep that breathing going. Last one on each side. Perfect. Relax it down. Hug it in. From here, we're going to go ahead and roll right on over to one side. It doesn't matter which side, because we'll do both. As you set yourself up on your side, making sure that hips are totally stacked, one on top of the other, meaning that the top hip isn't rolling forward or rolling back. Kind of straight line from hip bone to hip bone here. Head can be supported in your hand or on your arm, and then top hand somewhere other than the mat in front of you. So whether that's on your belly or your top hip or even behind your head are all great options. From here, you're going to exhale and lift that belly towards your spine. Hold there and breathe normally. Keep finding that lifting and wrapping sensation all the way from the bottom to the top. And then from here, top leg is going to straighten out at the height of the top hip. Reach it 1 inch longer than you think you can, maybe feeling a little bit more activation underneath here. Keep finding that length. And we're going to inhale, straight leg kick to the front, only as far as you can while keeping stillness through the upper body, and straight leg squeeze to the back. And the reason that I say squeeze instead of kick to the back is because we really don't want to go too far. If we kick too far back, we might notice our rib cage kind of opening up and our belly opening up. So we're trying to keep that closed core engaged, so it's a little squeeze back. Inhaling to the front, exhaling to the back. Keep finding that length with the leg away from the center of the body. On this next one, we're going to bend into a 90-degree press. So that means ankle stays underneath the knee and knee comes right in front of the hip. We're still lifted up at the height of the top hip. Exhale, press down and reach long. Inhale, bend in. Exhale, press. Two more just like that. Starting to feel quite a lot of work in this top hip. Keep that top leg lifted. From here, toes point up and heel points down, so we're in that slight external rotation with kneecap also kind of diagonal. From here, straight leg kick forward, few inches, squeeze back. So keeping that toe up, heel down the whole time. On this next one, we're going to bend into 90 degrees. This time, knee is going to kind of come into this diagonal here without our top hip rolling back, and then exhale, press down and lengthen. Inhale in, exhale, press and reach. Last one. From here, toe points down, heel points up. Find that internal rotation of the hip. It's not just at the ankle, but the entire leg rotates in its socket. And then straight leg sweeping forward a few inches and sweeping back. This should feel very challenging here. Keep that core pulled in to help support us. On this last one, as we bend in, our knee is going to point down towards the mat in front of us, and then driving with that top heel coming kind of out and down and back. So bend in, kind of awkward, little tap in the front, and then leading with the heel, lengthen and press. Last one. On this last one, that knee can just come right down in front of us. If this is uncomfortable for any reason, you can either rest the knee on a block or something, or you can bend that leg in and kind of grab hold of the ankle. So whichever one works here. Bottom leg is going to straighten long out underneath of us. And then from here, we're going to exhale and squeeze that bottom leg, lifting up as high as you can. Squeeze, pause, and release. Exhale, lift. Maybe getting up 1 inch higher than you think you can. On this last one, lift and hold. Squeezing at the top, nothing fancy, just breathe here and lift up 1 inch higher. For 3, 2, slowly relax down, don't flop it down. We're going to roll over onto our backs, and the leg that was on top, that ankle is going to cross over the knee. You can do this figure 4 however it feels best, just remembering that we're trying to keep head, neck, and shoulders relaxed. So if you do choose to reach up and underneath of that leg, just make sure you're not straining through the neck. Maybe grab somewhere else to let the shoulders and the neck relax. Maybe you rock from side to side, finding that sweet spot that we just worked. One last deep breath, melting those hips down into the mat. From here, we're going to swivel around to the other side whenever you're ready. So doing a nice little 180 to set ourselves up for side lying on the other side. Same thing, hips stacked, one on top of the other, so really scoot that bottom hip underneath you. And then from here, top hand on top hip, belly, or behind the head. Belly button lifts, and it's holding here. We're not sucking in, we're just having kind of that wrap around, bottom to top, engaging the deep layers of our core. From here, top leg is going to, sorry, I have the hiccups. Top leg is going to lift up at the height of the top hip. Reach that straight leg 1 inch further than you think you can. Feeling the core maybe a little bit more. And then from here, straight leg kicks to the front and squeezes to the back. For this first round, we are in parallel, so toe and knee are pointing forward. Inhale, front. Exhale, back. On this next one, we'll take that 90-degree bend right out in front of the hip with ankle right under the knee. Exhale, press down and reach longer. Bend in and press. Keeping track of that top knee to make sure it's not drooping down as we get tired. Last one. Keep it lifted if you can. Rotate toe up, heel down. This is a rotation through the whole leg. From here, straight leg kick, few inches forward, few inches back. Don't lose that stillness in the upper body. On this next one, hold here underneath of you as we bend the knee to 90. Knee kind of points in that 45-degree diagonal. Exhale, straighten and lengthen. Inhale, try not to let the top hip roll backwards, meaning pretend like there's a wall right behind you and you're not letting it roll open. Last one. From here, rotate toe down, heel up, keep that internal rotation, kneecap slightly pointing down. Inhale, forward with straight leg. Exhale, squeeze back. Last one here. We're going to bend that top knee so that it kind of comes down towards our mat. Exhale, lead with the heel, press down, back, and slightly up. On this last one, knee points down to the mat and then it gently rests down. Knee either on the mat, on a block, or bent up, holding onto the ankle. Our bottom leg is going to straighten out all the way. Exhale, squeeze it and lift it up as high as you can. And slowly lower. Exhale, lift, squeeze and pause. in with the core. Make sure that that is still on and in play. On this last one, hold that bottom leg lifted. Squeeze and hold. Breathe here. Maybe lifting up 1 inch higher than you think you can. For last 3, 2, and slow on the way down. Perfect. Rolling onto your back for that figure 4 again, ankle over knee. Stretching it out however it feels best. So nothing super in particular, just crossing and making it feel like a nice stretch for those glutes. Other options are just hugging that knee towards opposite shoulder, or you can cross both knees and try to grab hold of the ankles. Do what your body needs. Taking some deep breaths to help release and relax. When you are ready, feet are going to come back down to our mats. And we're going to practice our dead bug, or as my professor used to say, dying bug, because if it was a dead bug, it wouldn't move. So arms are going to come up towards the ceiling. One leg in tabletop, and then the other meets you right there. Holding this position, breathing here. Opposite arm and opposite leg are going to reach not that far, maybe that 45, or even up a little bit higher, and then slow back into that center starting position. Switching sides. Inhale, just open a little bit. Find that control and really make sure that nothing is changing in your center as you reach. The breathing is inhaling as you open. Exhale as you close. If you reach too far, like this, it's going to be very hard to control it here. You'll also have more work in the leg. So that's why it's just a little reach. Last one on each side. Perfect. Hug those knees in. When you're ready, we're going to roll right over onto our bellies. Finding length through the spine. And then from here, lift that belly button up towards your spine, engaging your core, kind of a wrap-around sensation. Keeping head nice and neutral, we're going to reach long and then squeeze and hover, thinking about finding more length than lift, and then lower down, switch sides, exhale, reach, hover, keep that core, and down. A few more like this. No pressure or tension in the back. On this next one, maybe starting to speed it up so that it's a lift and a lower. Lift, lower. From here, flutter kicking both arms, both legs. For our fast swimmies, we're here for just 3, 2, and 1. Relax the hands down. Hands are going to come right by our chest, and we'll press back into child's pose. Knees can come wider if that feels good. Hands reaching long. Take a nice deep breath here and fully relax the belly, fully relax the pelvic floor. From here, take your left hand and thread it through your right armpit, looking towards that left hand. Taking a few deep breaths here, maybe a stretch in the shoulder, maybe a little rotation through the spine. Slide that left arm out, right hand slides under left armpit, looking towards that side. Hands back out up front. We're going to take our child's pose over to one side. So both hands are going to walk over to the left. Taking some deep breaths again. And then walking both hands over to the right. Back to the center. We're going to come off of that deep knee bend. We're going to stay on the forearms here. Elbows right underneath the shoulders. From here, we're up on our knees so that hips are right over the knees. Pull that belly button in, engage your core, nice flat back. We're going to slide the right leg long and straight, toe still down, and then slide it back in. Switching sides, slide out, lengthen as if someone's pulling that leg long, and slide in. When that leg shoots out straight, it's also kind of light. Light on your mat as if you could lift it up and hover with no other changes. On this last one, hold whatever leg you're on nice and straight. Lengthen it more. From here, exhale, squeeze and lift without arching the back. Tap the toe down. Exhale, squeeze, lift. Making sure you're not sinking down through the opposite hip. Last one. Squeeze. Hold at the top here. Slide that straight leg out to the side a few inches. Wide and center. Wide and center. Last one. And toe taps down, knee comes in. If there was a lot of pressure on the knee, maybe folding your mat again, just doing what feels comfortable. Other side, exhale, lengthen long, hold that length. Pull your belly button in even more. Exhale, squeeze up to the top, squeeze the booty, and then tap the toe down. Exhale, squeeze, lift. No arch in the back, no change there. Think less about height and lift and more about length. Hold at the top here. Slide wide. Exhale, right back underneath midline. Slide wide. Feel the core working harder as you move that leg out to the side, toe taps down, and knee comes in. Perfect. From here, we're going to set ourselves up for a plank. You can stay on your forearms if you want to, or pop up onto your hands is good too. One leg is going to lengthen out long, kind of tuck your tailbone under to prepare, and then we're just going to be here for a hold. So nice straight line between heels and the top of your head. Your head is neutral, it's not drooping down, and it's not sticking up. Think about your face right in between your hands or forearms and the back of your neck pushing up to the ceiling. Breathing here. If you feel your forearms start to droop, take a break. Otherwise, hold for last 3, 2, relax down, one knee and then the other. Shaking out the wrists if you need to, or resting the shoulders if you need to. This second set, we're going to come into just a double knee bend. So I'll show you what that looks like. No big movements here, but it's really just kind of a micro bend of the knees. So we're here, and then both knees are going to just bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. You really don't have to your hips don't move. Your knees don't even have to tap down. But just ask yourself what changes between knees straight all the way and just that little tiny bend. We should feel a bit more work coming into the lower abdominals as our knees bend. Last one. And relax down. Perfect. From here, slide your legs to the front. Take a nice forward fold. Shake out those legs if you need to. And then fold forward. Take a nice deep breath in and exhale. Feel yourself kind of come closer down. Option to rock from side to side. When you're ready, we're going to widen the feet about the distance of your mat or wider than the hips. From here, we're going to sit up nice and tall all the way from the sits bones through the top of your head. Pretend like there's a string attached from the top of your head that's pulling you right up towards the ceiling. From here, arms right out to the side. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Pull your belly button in. Exhale, twist. 2, 3, and center. Exhale, lengthen as you twist. And center. Last one. And relax forward, take a quick break. Sometimes that is harder than we think it's going to be. This second set, same thing, except we're going to come into our saw. So pinky finger to opposite pinky toe. Lengthen up tall to start. Exhale, rotate, reach, pinky finger to pinky toe. 2, 3, and center. Exhale, twist, rotate, pulse. 2, 3, and center. Exhale, twist. Last one. Perfect. Relax down in the middle. From here, hands are going to come back behind us if that's okay for the shoulders and the wrists. Knees are going to bend. We're going to be taking a corkscrew again, but this time in this more upright position. So, if you can, feet are going to come up, and doesn't have to be straight legs, but trying your best. Maybe heels together, toes apart. We're going to circle down and around, back up to the top, reverse directions. So going clockwise and then counterclockwise. If this doesn't feel good, just hold at your tabletop. Last one. And rest down in butterfly, soles of the feet together, knees wide, nose to toes. Nice deep breath. Option to press gently one knee down if it feels like you need more stretch in the hips, and then other knee down. Send both knees back up towards the ceiling, find that round back position, and then hands are going to come out in front. Tuck your tailbone under, pull that belly button in, little marches here. Floating one leg and then the other. Both feet stay relatively light. Option to stay marching or meeting in boat pose. Find that balance point and just try to find stillness. Nothing fancy. Feeling all of those smaller muscle adjustments. Breathing here for 3, 2, back into butterfly, soles of the feet together, nose to toes if that feels good. Option here, taking the right arm to the ceiling, eyes follow, twisting, maybe feeling a nice gentle stretch through this part of the back. And then switching sides, left arm up towards the ceiling, gentle twist, looking at that hand at the top if you can. Back to the center. From here, legs are going to straighten out in front of you. We're going to practice our rolling halfway down. So arms out in front, sit up as tall as you can, lengthen the spine and pull the belly button in. From here, relax the shoulders away from your ears, tuck the tailbone, start to round your back one vertebrae at a time, lowering your chest down to a point where you know you can come back up. If that's not very far down, that's okay. And then slowly coming back up to the top, restack the spine all the way back up. Lengthen, lift like a string is pulling you right up. Again, shoulders down, tuck the tailbone, round through the back. Pull that belly button in as if someone's trying to poke you in the belly and you're trying to get away from that. Relaxing the shoulders and rolling up one vertebrae at a time, all the way back up to as tall as we can. Last one like this. If you can, hold back here. Inhale, one arm reaches up. Exhale it down, alternating sides. Inhale up. Exhale down. Last one on each side. This time, as you sit up, we're gonna fold and reach over those toes. Shake out the legs if you want to. If you can reach your toes or your feet, maybe giving them a gentle squeeze. When you're ready, we're going to crisscross the legs, sitting all the way forward and in front. From here, we're going to take the chest over to the left knee, framing the left knee, and slowly lower your chest towards that knee, keeping your hips anchored down until you feel a gentle stretch. Take a few deep breaths. Filling up the ribs at the back of the body, especially kind of the upper back of the body. On this next one, walk your hands over to the other side, framing that right knee, one hand kind of on either side. Getting your chest to kind of face that knee as best as you can. Maybe on one side you feel more of a stretch than the other. That's okay. Once again, taking just some nice deep breaths and breathing up to that upper back area. Maybe as you exhale, you're getting a little bit further each time towards that knee. On this last one, slowly walk yourself up to a tall seated position. Clasp your hands together. You're going to pull your belly button in, reach your hands forward and your upper back backwards. Round your upper back as much as you can. Maybe hands slide from side to side. To the center, reach your hands back behind you, lift the chest, inhaling, maybe looking up just a little bit. Find some openness through the chest, rolling those shoulders down and back. From here, sit up tall again, pull your belly button in, maybe finding new length through the spine, new activation, and kind of just some general work through the center of the body as you're sitting. Roll the shoulders back without arching the back. And from here, inhale both arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale back down. One more like that. Inhale. And lastly, inhale, shoulders up towards your ears. We're going to squeeze our toes, our eyes, our hands, and every muscle that we possibly can, all of that stress and tension in. And then exhale, shake it out, and just relax it down. One more just like that. Inhale, squeeze. And exhale, just let it go. Shake out all of that tension you've been holding in your bodies, hopefully helping us to relax after the day. Thank you guys so much. As always, if you have any
Thank
questions,
you.
let me